Hello and welcome to Cherries Red Army. It's the international break and an opportunity to do some variety videos, an opportunity to speak to a Stoke City fan to see how Mark Travers is getting on. Loan watch, shall we call it. It's Dan from Every Step Along the Way Stoke City Podcast. Dan, thanks for taking the call. How you doing? Tell us about your podcast.
I'm good, thank you, mate. So it's our third season. It's me and Mike. The beauty is that it's the first time we ever sort of interacted with each other was me sort of looking for someone to do a podcast with, Mike sort of having the same ideas, and we come together and sort of busy mates now, 3 years down the line. We've had some great times. We preview the game, so basically there's quite a few Stoke podcasts out there. So we were looking at something that's a bit different. So I think if you're going to start a new sort of podcast, the markets are getting a bit saturated, aren't they now and stuff? So we thought, what people aren't doing, and there wasn't any preview out there. So there was nothing that came out before the game. So we thought, we'll just do that. We'll still review the previous game, but the main bulk of our podcast will be looking ahead before the game, informing people about stuff that's coming out from like team selections, some stats, predictions, all that sort of stuff. And people are loving it. It's going from strength to strength. We've interviewed players. We've had Tyrese Campbell on there. We've had Ben Wilmot on there as well this summer. So yeah, we're doing well. We're enjoying it.
Fantastic. So if you're a Bournemouth fan that maybe you want to check in on a Stoke City podcast where Mark Travers is playing, Ben Pearson's now there as well. The link will be in the description. Go and check them out. So Dan, let's get stuck into it. I'm going to get this right, hopefully. Stoke City are currently 16th in the Championship. 2 wins, 3 losses, 6 goals conceded. Mark Travers has played all 5 games. We'll get into his form and how he's performed in a bit, but how excited were Stoke fans when he signed for you on loan for the season?
Very excited. I'll be honest, Goalkeeper, after what seems like about 3 decades of having a solid keeper, the last, say, 3 years since Jack Butland's form took a nosedive, and then we tried to replace him with Adam Davis and Joe Bursick, and then latterly Jack Bonham, the bar was set very low for any summer recruit in the goalkeeping department. Mark Travers was, I think, we felt probably as good as we could get. To be honest, we were really happy with his incoming.
Begovic has also played for you as well. He's a former AFC Bournemouth player. For Mark Travers, then, Dan, for Bournemouth fans, it's a guy that I'm comfortable in saying for Bournemouth fans is someone that's very much liked within the fan base. We want Mark Travers to become this really exceptional goalkeeper. He had a fantastic Championship season in our promotion, got the Golden Glove in that league. Then he got stuck in that Scott Parker moment where we lost to Liverpool quite heavily. Then we had a change of manager and Neto come in from Barcelona, and he never really regained his place. So it does feel like a really good moment for Mark Travers to get back playing in a league that I think he's comfortable in. We sort of know what he's good at and where his weaknesses are. But before I sort of disclose what I think, when you look at Mark Travers 5 games in, what's the positives you're seeing from his game?
It's shot stopping. Like I mentioned, that we haven't had a great time in recent times with goalkeepers. I think both Bursick and Bonham last season were amongst I think both of them were in the bottom 5 goalkeepers in the league for shot stopping percentages. We've seen some. There's been many saves so far that he's done that I'm like, yeah, that would have been in last year. Yeah, that would have been in last year. And I know, obviously, goalkeeping, the art of goalkeeping is changing, isn't it, in the modern day? There's a lot of different stuff coming, a lot of distribution and stuff like that. For me, I still like to see a goalkeeper who keeps the ball out the net, first and foremost. And he definitely seems to be doing that. That seems to be his strength, is good old-fashioned shot stopping.
Yeah, that would very much fall in sync with me. Is a great reactive goalkeeper, made some fantastic saves on the final day of the season as well for us at Everton. And his shot stopping is fantastic. But as Bournemouth fans, we do see a few weaknesses in Mark Travers' goalkeeping. Have you seen any yet?
We've noticed his kicking is a bit erratic. I think he can sometimes sort of get the distance, but without the accuracy. And I think he's not one sort of to do with like short, keeping it short into the centre halves and spraying out to the fullbacks as such. I think if he is going to distribute it, it's going to be just kick it long and get a few people around the sort of the halfway line out that he goes towards one of them. Is what we seem to be looking at the minute.
Yeah, and I think you would know as well, if you watch Premier League football, that now that level of football is the goalkeepers are expected to be very good with their feet. And I wouldn't say Mark Travers is the worst, but I wouldn't say he's up there as being the most comfortable goalkeeper either. What I would add to where I think Mark Travers has a weakness is how he commands his area. I think at times he's not sort of dealt with his penalty area from set pieces, from corners. We found that he was a little bit lightweight. I don't know if you've seen that yet in the Championship for Stoke City.
We do seem to have a weakness at corners, but that's nothing new. I'd say I think there was one the Ipswich town that was there. So I was trying to think. I think we've already conceded about 4 goals from set pieces. So I was trying to work out which one. Yeah, but I think the first goal we conceded at Ipswich, it was a free kick. Hit quite straight from the wing position, about 30 yards out, and it just sort of floated in, and he started to come forward, took 2 steps forward, then decided he maybe didn't want to do that, and then so when it did fall to the obviously the Ipswich player won the header, and he was sort of out of position then because he'd started to come, and then he sort of just nodded it past him. He obviously made tried to dive for it, but because of his positioning, he couldn't get anywhere near it. I think if he'd have carried on coming forward, he probably would have claimed it easily, to be fair. He just had that sort of hesitancy and stopped.
But you're pretty happy with the progress so far. You're only 5 games in. I mean, you got off to a flying start in the league, obviously lost the last 2. But Stoke City fans are quite comfortable from what you're seeing, having a very established goalkeeper at Championship level.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he made 2 absolutely amazing saves at the weekend from... that basically stopped 2 sort of own goals, if you like. There was one ball that come across the 6-yard box, and I think the striker at Preston was probably just waiting for a tap in at the back post, and Ender Stevens has sort of just thrown himself at it just to try and probably put the striker off more than anything, and end up getting a good boot on it, and he sort of changed direction to keep it out. And then there was a bit of a scramble, a couple of defensive blocks, we got it away, and then there was also another one. They had a shot and he's going one way and it's hit Glenn Wilmot on the shin and then deflected into the other end of the goal, and he sort of changed direction and got 2 hands to it and pushed it around the post. So yeah, we were like I say, we were right behind both of them, and it's a good save when the crowd behind the goal gasp before they applaud. So yeah, he had a couple of them, and in fact, to be honest, I think he got the man of the match on our poll. After each game, we do a poll on the podcast on a sort of our forum and that.
Yeah,
and then we get like points, and it goes towards like the player of the season. Well, he got both the away games that we've played so far. He was man of the match, and he's currently leading man of the match for the game on Saturday. So 3 out of the 5 league games. I think because we do you get double points for wins, and unfortunately the 3 games that he will be man of the match in, we lost all 3. But I think he's currently on. He'll be second behind Andre Vidigal for player of the season with us so far.
Sounds positive stuff. How is he ranking with other goalkeepers then in the Championship? As I said, the last time he was in the league consistently playing for us, he got the Golden Glove right at the end of the season. But how's he ranking with other goalkeepers in that league, do you think?
I've not seen a better goalkeeper so far, I don't think. I think he's up there as well. Definitely not one we've come across. Like I say, I think... obviously we've only seen sort of a handful first hand.
Yeah.
But from highlights and stuff, I suppose you see the odd save and that. But I think he's consistently, for me, I wouldn't swap him for anybody currently. Put it that way.
No, that's great news. Also, quickly talking to you about Ben Pearson, a player that was very much loved at AFC Bournemouth, didn't get all the chances he wanted in the Premier League. Again, a player that's very comfortable in the Championship, and it's. it's good to see Ben playing again, and I assume he is getting more game time for you guys in the Championship.
Yeah, he's like he's Alex Neil's best mate, and he loves him from the time at Preston together. So he came in, and to be honest, last season when he came in, he just seemed to just flick a switch in the side, and we had our first good run for about 4 years, to be honest. I think we through it was March time, we had 5 wins, 4 wins and a draw, and winning 4 and 5-0 away from home in games, and he just seems to be the glue that lets everyone else play around him. Like you say, smashing character as well, really drives the team on. You can tell that. And hopefully, he's obviously he started this season. I thought he looked really fit in the first game of the season. He looked sharper, fitter than when he come in last year, because obviously he hadn't been playing much when he came in mid-season. And then he was sort of, I don't know if the manager was making a statement. We had a really poor game at Ipswich. The levels really dropped off to the point where the manager was making subs after half an hour, just because there was no sort of intensity in the team. And he then, the following 2 games, he was actually on the bench. Jordan Thompson came in and against Watford, and we won 1-0, and he played really well. And he's obviously retained his place because he played really well. And I just think maybe that was the manager making a statement of, if I can drop him, then none of you are safe.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But yeah, he played really well against Rotherham in the Cup last week. We won 6-1. The away game before, when he came on at half time for Thompson because we were losing. And then he started the midweek game and we won 6-1, and then again started back in at the weekend, in which he was yellow carded after 52 seconds, I think it was.
That's Ben Pearson.
I love Ben Pearson. Yeah,
lovable guy. What you see is what you get. Absolutely love Ben Pearson. Wish him well as well with you guys. And I can't ask you on here without asking you about the Carabao Cup game that's coming up very, very soon in a few weeks. You'll be coming down to the south for the 3rd round. How are you feeling about that? It'll be Bournemouth versus Stoke. Interesting tie?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, we signed a lot of players this summer. I think we've had 18 new signings. So we've a massive overhaul of the squad. And at the minute, it's like in glimpses, we're seeing what this team could be capable of, but we haven't got the sort of the consistency there yet, which is obviously why we win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1. But I think the longer they play together, hopefully they'll learn each other's games a bit better. And it'll be a nice test, to be honest, to get down to, the seaside who are, a Premier League side away from home. It'd be interesting, obviously, depending on what side you put out. Whether I think we'll go pretty full strength. The manager he makes a few changes so far, but he's not like the 10, 11 changes in the cup games.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll be interesting. Like I say, I think it'll be a nice test, and just to see for these players as well, just where they are at, and that, and see, can we get a big scalp, to be honest? Because obviously, to us at the minute, Bournemouth will be.
Under the lights, it'll be at Dean Court. A long day for you Stoke City fans. Now, if you are Stoke City fans or Bournemouth fans, you're checking out this video, do give us your comments below. And if you're watching Mark Travers as a Stoke fan regularly, do tell us what you are feeling and thinking about his performances so far. Dan, I reckon we do check out, or we do catch up with you probably in January and see what the progress is there, not just for your club, but for Mark Travers. But it has been great to catch up with you this early on in the season.
Well, sounds perfect. We'll see you then.
Check out Dan's podcast. Thanks for checking out this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Up, Cherries.